Welcome to Trump Bible Study, the greatest Bible study I think that anybody's ever had. First off, I know the Bible better than you and better than all these people. A lot of people like to say they like the Bible, they love the Bible, they know. I know the Bible better than all of them. First off, I don't open my Bible, okay? Because when I die, which will hopefully be, many, many decades from now, when the Easter Bunny and God come down to judge me, and they're going to judge me very strongly, I think, with very positive. So far we're hearing very good things about what heaven thinks. I want them to see a very fresh Bible, a new sort of looking Bible. It's respect. A lot of these people that go to church all the time, they bring their Bible, they read the Bible. It sort of looks like a thrift store thing. It's very disrespectful to God. My Bible is going to look so new, they're going to rush me to heaven and probably put me in charge of, maybe not in charge of everything at first. There's St. Peter and he's got to do his thing, and then you've got God, of course, who's, he knows what he's doing for the most part, and he's not going to want to give up power, but I think we're going to probably win heaven at some point. Now, I'm a man of great faith. That's why I'm doing Trump Bible Study. Sleepy Joe Biden is not. Sleepy Joe Biden wants to destroy religion. He wants to beat up God. He wants to beat up Jesus' uncle, God. And we're not going to let him do it. We're not going to let it win. So we're going to teach strong Bible lessons and protect God from Sleepy Joe. So the first Bible lesson comes from Genesis, the Phil Collins book. It's the book, I don't recognize a lot of these songs, but, Genesis was a strong Phil Collins thing. And this is called The Sign. It's called The Sign. Which way does this go? It's called Nope, that's not it. It's called The Sign of the Covenant. The Covenant, okay? It's, you gotta have those covenants. And we're on page 13. I don't know if every Bible has the same pages, but you just turn to page 13 of Genesis, and you're there. It's right there. They have a lot of other numbers that I think are useless. So let's go through this. When Abram, what about Abraham? I thought it was, when Abram was 99 years old, the Lord, great Lord, appeared to Abram and said to him, I am God Almighty, walk before me and be blameless. And I will make my covenant between me and you, and will make you exceedingly numerous. Can't make me numerous, there's only one of me. Then Abram fell on his face, and God said to him, as for me, this is my covenant with you. You shall be the ancestor of multitude of nations. No longer shall your name be Abram, but your name shall be Abraham. Well, okay, so he gave him a real name. That's, what, God? I'll give you credit on that. You know what? You gave him a real name, Abram. That's no name, so that's, good improvement by God. For I have made you the ancestor of a multitude of nations. Hopefully that doesn't mean the UN, very failed group of nations. I will make you exceedingly fruitful. You hear that, Mike? Fruitful. And I will make nations of you, and kings shall come from you. I will establish my covenant between me and you and your offspring after you threw out the first pitch. Throughout. Oh, throughout, not throughout, but throughout. Sort of in a throughout. Their generations for an everlasting covenant to be God to you and to your offspring after you, and I will give you, and to your offspring after you, the land where you are now an alien, illegal aliens, so not a good deal by God. All the land of Canaan. Is this a black name? There's like a C-A apostrophe N-A-A-N. That's Conan? Is that like Conan? God wasn't great with names. You got Abraham, right? But not these. For a perpetual holding, and I will be their God. Great Bible so far, right? Not boring at all. God said to Abraham, as for you, you shall keep my covenant. You and your offspring will after you throughout their generations. This is my covenant, which you shall keep between me and you and your offspring after you. A lot of offspring. Every male among you shall be circumcised. Ooh. Okay, God is negotiating very toughly. He's basically saying, for the kids that are watching, I'm going to cut off some of your pee-pee. That's, I never even thought of doing that in some tough negotiations with China. What if I went up to Xi and said, we'll lower the tariffs, but you got to give me a piece of your pee-pee? Not a good deal, although I may try it. You shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskins, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and you throughout your generations. Every male among you shall be circumcised when he is 8 days old, including the slave born in your house and the one bought with your money from any foreigner who is not of your offspring. So now they're just cutting off peepees of other people. That's tough. You go into that, even if you're a foreign, you're not my son, but you're in my house, so give me some of that dick skin. Both the slave, gets me emotional, both the slave born in your house and the one bought with your money must be circumcised. So shall my covenant be in your flesh, an everlasting covenant. Any uncircumcised, Mike, relax, I know we're talking a lot about you know what, but stop smiling. Any uncircumcised male who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. And then a lot of stuff happens, and Abraham, I'm skipping ahead to a part. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, and his son Ishmael was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Well, there you have it. I think this is what we learn here, is that the Jewish people, okay, and they got very tough with negotiations, because God really, I'm impressed, because he came with his starting point was, give me a dick skin. That's an incredible sort of strong starting point. So I respect God's negotiations. I think Abraham, he got a better name. Abram is not really, it's a weak name. Abraham is a real name. So God gave him a good, strong name, but, in exchange, he wants pee-pee skin. I would have maybe seen, what do I have to do for the name to get the better name? Do I have to do anything crazy, like give you penis skin? And then I'd say, well, no, you know what, I'll stay Abram, because I want to have, the great skin that I was born with. So I respect God's negotiations. Great, I don't know when we get to Phil Collins in Genesis, but, maybe that was the Peter Gabriel stuff. But great faith, okay? So gotta give God the penis skin, because he's a tough negotiator. So that's Trump Bible study for today. We'll be back tomorrow.